Politics is. Politics is. Politics is the only profession where people can drown in a puddle. Ooh, like Ella McCay do. If she is not careful, she'll piss the wrong people off. She'll just drown, and going down, down. What can Ella McCay do? Ooh. She's got them boom, boom pals, these great ideas and styles, such as a lot of scars for no goddamn reason. But Ella McCay is so 2008 and then 2008 with a lot of her great ideas. We've got boom, boom, boom. We've got Ella McCay as well as Jamie Lee Curtis and Woody Harrelson. We've got other people in this great film idea that James L. Brooks just shat onto the carpet. Ella McCay is the latest film from James L. Brooks, who hasn't done a film in a while. And watching this, you can see why. The reason I'm wearing this, by the way, if you've seen the movie, you get it. Once I realized that Ella McCay, played by Emma McCay, because apparently they didn't trust Emma to actually know another last name. That's unfair to her because she actually tries in this. But yeah, once I noticed that she was continuously wearing scarves, different kinds of scarves, I couldn't unsee it. So I'm going to wear this garish scarf, at least garish, against my black shirt. So James L. Brooks, that name will ring a bell. Might ring several bells if you're a Simpsons fan, or if you love broadcast news, the movie, not the actual broadcast news. Unless you love broadcast news, let's support our local anchors, because sometimes they do well. Sometimes they drag us down, like Ella McCay did. So also, he did as good as it gets. He also did Terms of Endearment. So Emma McCay gets a job as acting governor after Governor Bill. Yes, he's Governor Bill. He's just going somewhere that's not Capitol Hill. Played by Albert Brooks. We need more Brooks in this. We need Robbie Brookside in this goddamn movie. Nobody that's not a wrestling fan will understand what I'm talking about. But Ella has great ideas. She also has a husband, Ryan, played by Jack Lowden, who was in Dunkirk and some other films where he was used a lot better. And Jamie Lee Curtis is her Aunt Helen and her son, Casey. Or actually brother Casey, but that would be Rebecca Hall and Woody Harrelson's son Casey. So her brother Casey, Spike Fern. I felt like spiking somebody's drink. I think somebody's drink was spiked while doing this particular production, but it's fine. It's fine. Not giving away how I feel, am I? No, I'm not giving away at all. Also, Rebecca Hall is in this for all of a few minutes. You promised me Rebecca Hall and you take her away. How dare you, Ella McCay? How dare you take away somebody like that? Julie Kavner plays Estelle, who is the narrator and also her assistant, and really is about the only character that I would have been willing to follow around for about 2 hours. Nothing against Emma, who is delightful, and Emma certainly has the presence to carry a movie. It's just not this one, unless you're carrying it straight into the shitter. Yeah, Ella McCay got just destroyed by critics, destroyed by audiences. It was getting absolutely just crushed. And got crushed at the box office. It's had a major marketing campaign. I was seeing trailers for this like crazy. I think at least 60-70% of the movies I saw that weren't horror related had something like a trailer for this. And I thought it looked lighthearted and funny and everything, and there were a few moments that I'll talk about in the spoiler section that made me think, okay, I can think of no better way to end the movie, including one particular part with Jamie Lee Curtis and Emma, which I'm probably spoiling. But yeah, she gets a job as acting governor. She's having marital problems with her husband, Ryan, for a few reasons. And we also have the strained relationship with her father and her trying to reconnect with her brother after losing her mother. That's not really a spoiler. I do apologize, but that's kind of something that spurns us off. Jamie Lee Curtis apparently just won't say no to any project. I mean, and bless her, she can get as many roles and as many millions as she wants. Good on her. But seriously, I mean, goddamn serious. Ayo Edeburi is in this for like I thought After the Hunt was a waste of her talents. This movie isn't very good. Do you get what I'm saying here? It's not very fucking good. There are some people I know and trust and do care for that liked it, and that's fine. You guys can like it all you goddamn well want, but I don't understand how anything put in whatever script James L. Brooks decided to just, cobble this stuff. What I'm trying to basically say is, and I'm kind of struggling to come up with the way to do it. It's like he had 3 to 5 different scripts and said, I'll just do all of it and not allow anything to breathe and not allow the narrative to be any goddamn good. Ella wants to do good. She wants to instill a policy that will help underprivileged people. That's fine. And the movie is kind of apolitical, mostly, kind of. Funny that this took place in 2008, and Estelle even said, back then we actually, we mostly liked each other. Right after 9/11? A few years after 9/11? Not really. Not really. By the way, I bleed blue when it comes to politics, so I have no problem saying that. Whatever you feel is fine, but I will say that message will stay up there in some videos, and if you don't like it, too bad. But the thing is, the scarf. Why the scarf? Just why? Why the scarf? Why was there a scene between Spike and Ao that went like 6 minutes, but it felt like it went 4 years? And why was the dialogue thrown out like a Robert Altman film? But not even a good Robert Altman film, like Robert Altman just saying, I'm going to have people just talk really fast or talk endlessly for no reason. Which, yes, technically is what people do on video when they're reviewing movies, but not when it's done for an hour and 50 minutes. This was interminable. This was terrible. There's like one mild part I sort of chuckled at, but it seems like everybody is in completely different movies. And I just don't understand what the point of this is supposed to be. Like, we're supposed to show this life in turmoil, but this life in politics and all this stuff, and Ella's trying to do good. Who was this for? Like, who was the audience for this? And why did they think releasing this during, the lead up to Christmas was a good idea? Oh, families will gather. Yeah, if you want your family to hate you, you'll take them to this. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm being super harsh. And this movie had good intentions, but this movie had no focus. It was universally and unanimously unfocused. It was horrendous. Woody Harrelson would just pop in there to be a pseudo-plot device. And there is a line in this, and I will close a particular section with this. To get anything done, you have to make dumb people feel less dumb. I can think of no better way to describe how this movie lays shit out than that particular line right there. It's in theaters if you want to check it out. So 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So we started with Estelle narrating. We see Ella with Governor Brooks. We then also see her earlier life, which, by the way, Emma's playing younger Ella, which I think Emma's around 29. I mean, whatever. It's not as egregious as Regretting You. It's not, then again, few things are as egregious as Regretting You. I will take this over Regretting You, by the way, because this at least sort of seemed like it was trying to be a movie. It just wasn't a very good one. But she does end up losing her mother, and her mother was going to stay with her dad, even though her dad cheated on her multiple times. They were going to move to California. Ella didn't want to give up on her dreams, and she, in her academics and stuff like that, so Aunt Helen has her stay with her. Casey, then, by the way, has a bit of a divide from her. Mother dies, and she's having a hard time coming to grips with it. Storing this stuff all in, all this angst and everything, even though she has to cry, but she also has to try to do good because she is soon going to go from lieutenant governor to regular governor of whatever town this is. They might have said what town it is. I don't fucking care. I do not care. And by the way, all of that I described, plus a couple other things, are all within the first 15 minutes. Look, James, I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, he's basically Teflon at this point, but 20th Century Fox must have just thrown some money at him. Just thrown some money at him and said, make your movie. We don't care if you make it any good. We don't care if we get our money back. Because that's the only reason why anybody would get assembled for this particular thing. And Estelle, by the way, Julie Kavner is great. She's great. That name will ring a bell, by the way, for people that are fans of James L. Brooks's work. I mean, I'm leaving that stuff out. And remember Good Fortune? That guy? No, not that guy. Harold and Kumar. I think it was one of Harold and Kumar. I think so. Now I feel bad for saying that. So the whole point is you will recognize that guy. It's Kumail Nanjiani, who is a really good actor and really funny and actually has done good in dramatic pieces and is like a security detail driver and just whatever. Again, wasting Rebecca Hall. How dare you dangle Rebecca Hall in front of me? The idea of Rebecca Hall and then take her away from me. I happen to love Rebecca Hall's roles. And look at her. How could you not love her? But then we just get this whole damn mess where Albert Brooks basically says, I'm going to go do something else. You're acting governor for the next 14 months. But he won't sign off or go to his constituents about this plan to help underprivileged people. And you can't challenge people on this stuff. You just have to do good, but you can't do too much good. You have to make dumb people feel less dumb. And meanwhile, we then get a flashback of how her and Ryan met, where he had snuck into her house, and it was whirlwind romance. And at first, maybe it seemed like things were going good, but there's also a thing being dangled as trouble with them, that they had been using this apartment for their liaisons. Even though they're husband and wife, they couldn't do certain things, I guess, because I guess politicians don't have sex, at least with people that aren't their significant others, just people that are in certain files. And release them, by the way, release those files. So they have this apartment where they do this stuff, but now that she's going to be acting governor, he also wants to be co-governor. Because nobody's going to listen to her. Nobody will listen to a woman in politics. I mean, they come as close to saying that as they could. And his mother wants that to happen. And part of the reason is because Ella didn't thank him in her speech. Part of the reason is because don't thank Governor Bill, I think is what it was. There was a quick note passed by. Meanwhile, Helen is trying to do good. And we find out that Helen never really trusted Ryan. And it turns out that Ryan says, oh, this reporter is going to leak this story that we've been doing this stuff. So Ella goes and addresses it. But now, as they make good, he wants to be co-governor with her. But he's upset because she didn't consult him. Nobody is good in this, by the way, because, I mean, it's just like, okay, you did this. I have a feeling that he did this just to gain power, but I stopped, honestly, trying to dissect this fucking plot. And the idea now is they aren't going to end up being together. He's not sure this marriage can work. And, oh, it was $7,500. And he was going to give it to him, but he gave him in the form of a check. Oh, a check that can be used as evidence, and then all this stuff, da-da-da. So then he twists it all around on her that it was her that did this and paying off and doing all this stuff, trying to ruin her career because he's a piece of shit. Helen always knew he's a piece of shit. Meanwhile, during this, Ella is trying to talk to Casey, her brother, who's a bit of a shut-in, has been a bit of a shut-in for the last 13-something months in his apartment. Garbage is piling up, but he's making millions doing sports betting book stuff on the internet, I guess. And his girlfriend, Susan, was A.O. Edinburgh, who couldn't stand. He couldn't find the right words to say stuff. Things kind of blew up, and then he changed his number because he didn't want to know that she wasn't calling him. And then some 13 months later, and this is where I'm going with this, and it sounds like I'm bouncing around on this a lot, it's because the movie's bouncing around a whole lot. There's also this point where the security detail guy has another guy that wants to demand overtime so he can take care of his kids, gain a lot more overtime, which makes Ella all pissed off about the misappropriation of funds or trying to slash budgets, all this stuff. She's trying to help people. And then she talks to her brother. She ends up taking a CBD type drink. There are only back in 2008, there were only 13 states that allowed cannabis. So she's all high and confessing her feelings and confessing her stuff. It's been on her mind. And just, it pours out again like a Robert Altman film. And Emma is likable, but these characters are so annoying. These characters, besides Estelle, who really was the only, lifeline and the only character I wanted to follow. The dad's also trying to make peace with the kids, otherwise his current girlfriend, whatever, is going to leave him. And he also ended up revealing that he basically slept with somebody while his mother was dying. Or while her mother was dying, while Rebecca Hall was dying. Which, rude, very rude. And then she's trying to compartmentalize all this stuff going on with her husband Ryan. She's trying to help her brother Casey, who eventually does end up calling Susan, and he's just pouring his heart out in a really stupid way, in a stagey way. And basically the thing, she isn't sure that she wants to be with him or not, because it's been a lot. We've been with other people, and he looks at her, or not. And, again, really good. We gotta get her a better agent. Why is she in bad movies like this? And eventually he does end up asking, hey, will you be my girlfriend? And despite all red flags, there were so many red flags, the fucking Kremlin thought it was too much. She agrees to be that, and then they go off and they're eating. It's bad sketch comedy, and it's not good. And she basically is going to be forced, because Ryan decided to expose all this stuff and twist it around on her. Now her approval ratings in the shitter. Brooks, or Governor Bill, asked her basically to resign through this one mediator. And she won't do it unless, and Jamie Lee Curtis, by the way, was sort of funny here. And Brooks even tries to get her to, understand, hey, sometimes you got more cards in your hand than they realize. And she ends up basically saying, I'm throwing this away. God, I hope I never have to think about this movie again. But she ends up basically saying, I'll resign if, and it basically is to get these programs started, to help people out she wanted to help, make a difference, this kind of stuff, run these programs to help people that are less fortunate, they're just down on their luck, or people that were dealt a bad hand, or people that might just be hitting a rough patch, however you want to put it. And by the way, the screaming part that was in the trailer was right near the end, and I can think of no more appropriate way to end that movie. Between Jamie Lee Curtis and Emma, where they're all screaming, but they only scream like a little bit. We should do that more often. I agree. I want to scream at Ella McCay a lot more. And it ends with that stuff, and she's making a difference, I guess. Also, Scarf. There's stuff I missed? I know. I don't care. She had grand ideas. They didn't work, but she was able to make a difference. The thing is, nobody in this movie talked like an actual person, except Julie Kavner. So, that's all I gotta say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, F, by the way, F. Just in case you didn't fucking get that. F. Again, good intentions or not, this movie was a mess. A mishmash. Terrible. Fucking terrible. So, agree to disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rant, and until we revisit, hopefully, a better James L. Brooks movie in the future, happy trails to you.